In this video, we're going to be talking about how to travel and work around the world. Specifically, my top 3 working while traveling hacks in 2019. What's up, everyone? Welcome back to my channel, the place to master your finances. For those new here, my name's Alex Winkler, trader for over 6 years and a mentor to over 100 students in my new Profitable Crypto Trader course. My passion is finance and helping others master theirs. If you guys like these kinds of videos, I want you to go ahead and smash that like button so I know you want more. I also want you guys to go ahead and leave a comment below. What is your favorite work and travel hack? I would love to learn more from you. So let's not waste any time and dive right in. My tip number 1 is bring extension cables and adapters. Now, I know this sounds like such an obvious tip and somehow somewhat unspectacular. Did I say that right? Somewhat unspectacular, but this is so important. There's so many times where I go into a hotel room, especially outside of America, because in America the hotel rooms are pretty fitted, let's just say. But outside of America, sometimes you go in a hotel room, you're in an old building, and there's just one outlet. Believe it or not, this happens all the time. So I have invested in one of these. These are amazing. All you need is one outlet, and then you have multiple USB ports, and you have multiple power outlets as well. That way you are never kind of left hanging with only, trying to figure out which device should I charge now. Or if you are like me and sometimes you need to make a video, then you can't have your light and your laptop and all these things running at once. So it's a huge problem. So just, invest in one of these. They're relatively cheap. And even if there are more outlets, the chances that there are outlets where you need them are also very slim. So maybe there is a desk with an outlet, but there's only one, right? And you want to charge all your stuff there. So again, this will come in super handy. Here's a picture of me on the train, and there was actually an outlet on the train under our seat. However, instead of having to fight over who gets to use the outlet, I could have probably supplied the whole aisle with my good little setup. This is actually a smaller version of the one I travel with, but ultimately it gets the job done most of the time. I do like to have those kind of 5 outlets though. I know it sounds a little crazy, but just, figure out what works for you. For me, the more outlets, the better, because as I said before, the whole lighting system, then you need to charge your phone, then you need to charge your laptop, and before you know it, there are no more outlet spaces. And the European outlets are even worse. Let me give you guys a quick example. So let's say I have this thing and I need to charge 3 devices. So I'm all happy with that. That's no problem, but wait for this. So I have something I need to charge, then I put it in, and before you know it, I could actually only use 2 outlets. It's a common problem, and that is why I bought one with 5 outlets. Not because I usually ever need 5 outlets, but even if I want to use 3, it's kind of a hassle. I don't really know why somebody would ever design something like that. It's just a constant mess. So make sure to get more than you think you'll need, because you will always need more, especially if you are traveling with a partner or a friend, because they're going to be trying to bum your electricity. The next thing I want to talk about is actually this thing that I was just using as a prompt. This thing is really cool. It costs between $10 and $30 depending on how robust and the kind of quality you are looking for. But for me, I've been pretty happy with this one. It will most of the time take care of any situation you are in. And if you're doing any sort of backpacking, that's really nice because you can't always plan where you're going to end up. You never know if you're going to take a random flight to a random country. And having one of these is really nice because it just kind of hits every sort of front. I mean, look how many inputs this has. I'm sure one outlet will work. It also has really nice USBs, so a quick phone charge is also very easy to do. I left a link in a model that is a little bit better than this one if you are interested in checking out what I would probably buy next if I needed to. The next tip, or hack number 2, is have a VPN or a VPS ready to go. I won't get too much in the details what they are because I'm sure you already know, and a quick Google search would fix that, but let me tell you about why I use it and quickly kind of what it is. The reason this is hack number 2 and why I so highly recommend using it is because you never know, especially when you're working, if you're going to need to log in from an IP that is from your home address to pay an invoice or to log into an account or to prove that you are a US citizen, or maybe because you need to create an account and you can't create an account if you're not in your country. There's so many weird reasons that you'll need to log in from an IP address that is from your home country. It is ridiculous, and there's not even any more reason to list the amount of reasons why. There is also additional safety measures when using a VPN or VPS, especially when you are using a Wi-Fi network that is not secure or that you don't really know if it's secure or not. I personally use HMA or Hide My Ass. They've been around forever, and I have used them since I was just getting involved on internet projects many years ago. I know they are one of the big players in the space. I'm sure there's many more, but I will let you guys kind of explore that field on your own. For me, HMA or Hide My Ass is really, really good, and they're very cheap. I only pay a few dollars a month, and I can pick whatever IP address I want whenever I want on multiple devices. So I really, really like them, and I find that the value is terrific. I will leave a link in the video description as well if you want to check them out. The third hack is to make sure to contact your banks and make backups of all important documents, from credit cards to travel documents and passports. You never know what's going to happen. You might get your wallet stolen. You might lose your passport somewhere. You might forget it in the hotel room. God knows what else. The things that can go wrong when traveling are literally unlimited. So make sure you have a backup for whatever important information that you might need along the way. So let me give you a little example. Let's say you have 3 primary credit cards or debit cards or whatever you have, right? And let's say you have a driver's license and a passport. Make sure you take pictures of all those things or write down some of the information. Pictures are usually better. And then store that information somewhere in the cloud. Now, be careful. That means it's also a security risk. Somebody could potentially hack you and get access to that information. So make sure when you do this, you have multiple forms of verification, such as a 2-factor authentication or maybe multiple 2-factor authentications in a place, so you know that is very secured information. There's many different companies that will offer a sort of a vault or a cloud vault solution. You can even check out some services such as 1Password or LastPass, which store your password so you never have to enter information into various websites, which saves a bunch of time and should really be tip number 4. But I'm sure you guys are already using a LastPass kind of solution, so I really won't be talking about that too much. But check your LastPass or your 1Password, and many of those companies will also offer some sort of vault where you can store important documentation. It's definitely a step above in terms of safety compared to something like Dropbox. Although with Dropbox, you can also secure your account very well. It all really comes down to having multiple forms of authentication in whichever platform you are storing information on. That way, even if someone hacks your password or hacks your phone, they will still have problems accessing your account. My best follow-up tip with this is just do a few Google searches, look for reputable companies, and maybe try out a few of them. It also doesn't hurt to diversify some of your documentation. So maybe you have a little bit on every website, so even if one does get hacked into, they won't have all of your information. But it's really up to you how far you want to go and how much time you want to put into it. If you don't trust any third-party site, you can also just go to your friend or family, give them some of the documentation. Whatever you do, make sure you have this information backed up somewhere, even if it's just giving it to your spouse or your friend, because it's 100 better to have it and not need it than need it and not have it. So here's a little bonus tip. Working and traveling really comes down to efficiency. I'm traveling, which in theory means I want to be enjoying myself. So when I do want to work, I want to spend as little time as possible prepping and as much time as possible actually working so I can get back to traveling. This might be kind of obvious, but I want to mention it anyway. Prepare as much as possible ahead of time, or take specific travel days off, especially if you really need to work, because trust me, planning to work after dinner really is not a thing. It simply doesn't work as well as you might imagine or as you might hope. Oftentimes you have a few drinks or you feel super sluggish afterwards because you just stuffed yourself with some super amazing food. There are unexpected events that come up afterwards, and you just don't really want to miss any of those very memorable moments. So something that I have incorporated in my working and traveling is to never ever plan anything after dinner. My best advice I can give you is to be present in whatever you are doing. Work really hard when you work, and then be involved in what's ever happening around you when you're not working. And for the love of God, stop with this whole balanced work-life thing. You don't need some arbitrary balance. You just need to focus in whatever you are doing until you've completed that task. That way, you won't be thinking about it later. Don't 50% your life and be stressed while trying to achieve balance. There's a reason people say work hard, play hard. Now, if you want to learn more about traveling and working around the world, make sure to subscribe and hit that bell icon too, because in one of the next week's videos, I'm going to be sharing my trip to Kyiv, Ukraine, which I recently returned from. Also, follow me on Instagram. I'm not the most active poster, but I would love to connect. And you can learn more about the life of somebody who all of my friends say doesn't have a real job. In the meantime, while you wait for my next video, I highly recommend checking out one of these videos here, because I love finance and my goal is to show you how easy it all really is. That way, your one day I will take on finance will turn into what else can I improve today. As always, guys, I appreciate you. Have a great day and make some awesome trades. Stay safe. Till next time. Ciao, ciao.